has pumped out over 440 Lego sets this year with an average set price of $60. Doesn't seem too bad, but compare that to last year's numbers with over 500 sets and an average set price of $45. Now, the $15 difference could be single-handedly explained by the price increases that we experienced earlier this year, but I want to do some further investigating. I want you guys to investigate that like button and see why it hasn't turned white yet. Also, while you're over there, make sure you're subscribed and let me know in the comments what you find most interesting about this video. Now, I'm a Star Wars collector, so naturally I buy every single Lego Star Wars set that comes out, pretty much no matter what, except for that one time. For the 24 sets that have come out this year, that cost me $2,354 plus tax. Compare that with a year ago with 22 sets that came out, it was actually a little bit more at $2,500. And the difference there can be chalked up to the $800 UCS AT-AT versus the $600 UCS Razor Crest. So the overall price increases don't really have anything to do with Star Wars or necessarily any of the other licensed themes, but more so an introduction of more placeholders for larger sets. Star Wars pretty much gets a $2,500 budget and a certain piece count every year. The theme is very consistent. However, some of these other themes are starting to get the idea that they too can make UCS style sets because the fan base is ready for them. Whether it's ready or not, I think you and I are the ones to judge that, and since it's already in motion, we can pretty much see how it's going based on some recent events. And yes, I'm talking about this past weekend's 5x VIP on select sets, double VIP weekend, all the gifts with purchase, and just an overall push to try to get these low-selling sets out the door. So it's not just my opinion, it's pretty clear that these sets aren't selling well. Take the Black Panther bust, for example, which came out on October 1st. Everybody was really excited, thinking it was going to be some kind of a helmet, and when we first saw the image, I'm pretty sure everyone's reaction was like,
I mean, it's alright, like...
And then we saw the price point, and everyone freaked out. I fully expected $250. You take a gauntlet, and a helmet. Where's the extra $100 coming from? Oh, and no minifigure. The only bigger bust than the Black Panther bust was the Hulk Buster, which released exactly a month later and only fueled the rampage. This is a $550 set with over 4,000 pieces. The size is incredible. It's a very impressive display model, but was ripped apart by the fans due to inaccuracies that just didn't help justify the price. Now, I still think that anyone who wants these sets and can afford them can and should get them, but I think the bigger takeaway here is that is two huge placeholders for $300 and up Marvel sets in a category where there's never really that big of sets. Now, this is true for a couple other themes too, but I'm just using Marvel as an example. Now, don't get me wrong, Lego's always been a luxury good, but there's a price wall and a willingness to pay. And once you go over that price wall, you have to have a serious, like, nostalgic reason or something to really get you to pay that much more money. For me, Star Wars, that's literally it. That is the nostalgic feeling that will get me over that price wall to pay $600, $800, ungodly amounts of money for a plastic model. A really cool plastic model. I think the price wall is between $300 and $350, which makes sense when you look at some of these kind of mid-price range sets that are still expensive but sell well. You've got the Mos Eisley Cantina, you got the Daily Bugle, the Sanctum Sanctorum, the Bat Tumbler, pretty much all the modular buildings, they're all around that $300 range. And it's a big deal to get one of those sets, but it's doable. Any set that goes over that price point, you have to have an additional reason as to why you're buying it. Being a collector is one thing, but especially if there's more than one set over that price point, you gotta prioritize. And I think with items like the Titanic, even the Eiffel Tower, they're more like statement pieces. Like, you're not just gonna go put the Titanic on a shelf over your double bed. That thing's probably gonna be on display in your house somewhere. As is the Eiffel Tower, because let's be real, that thing is too tall to really stick anywhere. Like, those are legit household statements. Like, you buy them for the same reason that you buy Jordans or a Rolex. You know, just sometimes there's a bit of a price gap on what those brands offer at their highest price point. And Lego is definitely pushing the price point. I mean, the same goes for UCS sets. Like, you buy those because they're statements. You buy them for the same reason that you buy Yeezys, you know, to support what? Now, dropping $300 on a single Lego purchase is a pretty considerable amount of money, and it's a pretty good chunk of your monthly disposable income. Now, combine that with increasing prices due to inflation, and inflation hitting all of the commercial goods. All around the world, Lego buyers definitely cut back, and it wasn't if they cut back, it was when. Some people started cutting back as early as June and July. But check this out, 8 out of 10 of the most expensive Lego sets of the entire year came out in the second half of the year. which means that buyers had to prioritize, and it looks like these 5 just didn't make the cut. Now, price increases are one thing, and the price of plastic did drastically increase at the start of this year. And these 9 or 10 really expensive Lego sets would have been in design and production way before those prices increased, so it's not like Lego could have really done anything differently. But what is clear is that Lego is definitely pushing their price wall upwards, and they have been ever since they acknowledged the adult demographic as a specific market. In fact, if you look at almost all of the sets over $200, they're all geared towards the adult audience. It looks like the most expensive play sets are the Monkey Kid Heavenly Realm at $180 and the 2 train sets from the city theme. I also don't really consider modulars for kids, and those are usually $200 and up. Okay, now with those insights, we're gonna see how well I did against all of the sets that Lego released this year, starting out with the winners, still has a chance, I just haven't purchased it yet, losers, and Rugrats. All right, so for our first victim, sets that I actually purchased include the Lion Knight's Castle. Why? I don't know. I was excited for some reason. Yes, I plan on getting the Eiffel Tower. I can't believe it, but I also bought the Sanctum Sanctorum. Of course, the Landspeeder, along with every single Lego Star Wars set of 2022. I also bought Bowser this past weekend, and I love Lego Thor's Hammer. Great one. Now, for the ones that still have a chance, I just haven't gotten around to purchasing the Time Machine yet, and I'll probably buy the Office at some point too. As for our losers, you guys probably already know, at the beginning of this year, the Globe came out. Never bought that set, wasn't very interested in that. I'm also not interested in modulars, so as much as I like the Boutique Hotel, it's just not for me, okay? And speaking of not for me, I don't do Technic, so guys, don't come at me. These are great sets, and that Formula One car even had me second guessing myself. But even if I did like Technic, I don't think I'll ever buy the BMW based on the reviews I've heard of how difficult and painful it is to put together. Barcelona Stadium, let's be real, that's been on sale all year. They're basically giving it away for free. I think it goes without saying, the Black Panther bust and the Hulk Buster. The Loop Coaster, holy moly, 400 bucks. Yes, if you have a city and an amusement park, not for me. The Lighthouse, great set, not for me. And the foosball table. I also didn't purchase Starry Night or the Rolling Stones, although they look great. I'm just not hip enough. And some of the less expensive sets include the Pyramids and the Jazz Quartet. So yeah, quite a few expensive sets that I didn't buy, which saved me in total this much money. As for sets that I regret buying, the T-Rex Escape was really fun at the time, but I kind of just lost interest. I actually haven't bought this set yet, but I'm going to, and I know that I will regret. It's actually on sale right now, but still paying $30 for a 4+ ATSD just to get an Ewok. It's, I don't know, it's just ridiculous. The Hogwarts Magical Trunk, which was not priced very magically for what you get. It's a pretty small set, but I think I will use the minifigures for something. And the Sirius Escape, which is definitely seriously overpriced. I also regret buying like all of the Lightyear sets because I never even watched the movie. And kind of regret buying the Ice Castle, although it was a fun build. It's just probably something that I'll sell in the future. Oh, and I forgot about the Galaxy Explorer. I was thinking I would still maybe buy that, but actually, no, I'll probably never buy that. So in total, I spent a lot of money, but I also didn't spend as much as I could have. And the biggest thing holding me back from purchasing even more of the current sets is the fact that Lego's gonna go and make even bigger, better ones next year. Just when you think you've got everything that you want, they go and make something else that's kind of cool. This Black Friday, the Eiffel Tower is dropping, so it will be the Eiffel Tower. Paired alongside the GWP Eiffel's apartment, the 10,000 one-piece Lego set is going to cost over $700, and I will be purchasing it day one, no hesitation. I just have to. Someone like me just has to have this. And it's crazy because just the weekend before, me, along with hundreds, thousands of other AFOLs, probably dropped hundreds of dollars on more Lego sets because of all the sales and VIP points. So how many people are actually gonna buy the Eiffel Tower? Probably still a lot, I'd imagine. I mean, the sheer dollar amount and the space required for all of these massive sets is just insane, but it doesn't seem to stop us. I do think that overall people have pulled back and definitely made some adjustments to their budgets, but at the end of the day, it comes down to prioritization anyways, and the sets that you want the most are the sets that you should definitely get, but you may just find yourself getting less than you once did. Or maybe you don't buy much Lego at all and this doesn't really impact you whatsoever. Good for you. Now when it comes to Lego investing, a lot of sets, and minifigures especially, go to the moon, meaning that the prices just drastically increase for not the best reasons. It's kind of hard to tell, kind of hard to predict. So I leave you with these questions. Do you think that these really expensive Lego sets are going to continue to increase in value in the same way that other Lego sets have done so historically? Because the one thing about having really large sets is that it takes up a lot of space, and if you're gonna try to flip them and sell them in the future, you gotta consider shipping and moving the product. Pretty much right now, 2 of those largest Lego UCS sets, or something along the lines, is an ounce of gold, and moving those is way harder. The second question I have is, do you guys think that Lego will continue to fill up these 9 or 10 spots with Lego sets over the $300 price wall? I mean, it's pretty clear that over half of them didn't sell that well, and it seems likely that Lego would make adjustments for next year, but did they get enough intel before it was too late, or are we gonna have a repeat of this next year? Also, just the sets in general, I feel like if they were slightly different, you know, if the bust were a helicarrier, or if the Hulkbuster were a massive Spider-Man No Way Home Statue of Liberty battle set, you know, would they have sold better even at those price points? Now that I've shared my insights with you, I'd love to hear what you guys think down in the comments below. And as always, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Happy building. Whoosh.